Before we enter our last
Thank you.
segment of the day, yeah, absolutely. A kind reminder to you that it is not too late yet. If you know of others who would like to follow our event, do feel free to share our YouTube link or direct them to Facebook Live. Now, our first category in BI analytics is location data and marketing. Location-based services leverage a smartphone's GPS technology to identify the real-time location of a person. And based on that, brands and retailers can offer contextualized and personalized recommendations. Now, joining us now on our virtual stage are Alfred Zipperman, CEO at Anagog, and Michael Mitrani, Head of Digital and Innovation at Superfarm. Welcome also to Asif Khan, Founder and President at the LBMA, who will be moderating this session. Asif, you got the mic.
Great. Thank you very much, and great to be here and great to have a chance to participate in this fantastic event. So thanks to all the hosts and everybody for organizing. Just quickly to introduce my organization. I'm going to try and share my screen here. So I head up a group called the Location-Based Marketing Association. We're a global nonprofit trade association. And we cover both the brand side and retail side of kind of using
I'm not sure that we can see your screen.
Oh, it says it's sharing. That's weird. Let's try again.
That we are still stuck with runs.
Okay.
So we need the IT assistance over here, the moderator maybe.
I can actually see the screen.
Yeah, but I think we're seeing the wrong
slide.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's still Ron's. Sorry about that, guys. Is there something I can do?
Maybe now you can try again.
Strange, it just disappeared. Okay, very strange. Okay, let me try one more time. Let's see now. How about now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. So yes, as I said, my name is Asif Khan. I'm the head of the Location-Based Marketing Association. So we are a trade association that represents both brands, retailers that are looking for case studies, best practices around the use of location data, as well as technology companies that are providing solutions around that. We like to describe location-based marketing at the LBMA as the intersection of people, places, and media. And we choose the word media very carefully in that for us, it's all media, mobile, out of home, radio, television. We really believe that knowing where somebody is and how that intersection to the media that's in front of them, that's near them, can influence them, can create this opportunity to do location-based marketing. We have a very diverse and global member base. We have local chapters in more than 30 cities, representing about 22 countries around the world, and growing. And so we're very excited to be working in Israel now as well, and with some local members like Anagog we're going to hear from in a second, and Orient and other companies that are involved in the conversation today. Just a couple of really quick stats I wanted to share, and then I'm going to hand it over to Anagog. Every year we produce something called the Global Location Trends Report. Actually, the 2020 report will be out next month, based on the 2019 data, 88% of all marketers that we surveyed that are part of the LBMA community globally are already using location-based data. And this is a huge number, up from 76% in the previous year. So a huge year-over-year increase in engagement and the understanding of the value of location-based data. Seen in a monetary sense, we're projecting the market just for the technology and infrastructural spend against platforms and solutions in this space is $57.4 billion by the end of next year. So this doesn't include the ad spend. If we layer the ad spend on top of that, it's an additional $39.4 billion in the same time period. So you're looking at a market that is in excess of $90 billion alone, just in this field of location and contextual services. So I'm going to stop there and hand it over to my good friend at Anagog, and he can introduce himself and share a few thoughts.
Sure, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Great. So I'm Ofer Zipperman. I'm the CEO for Anagog. And given the short time, let me just dive in and show you what we are doing. So the whole idea when it comes to personalization is that everybody are trying to understand people based on their digital life, while at Anagog, we are trying to open a much wider scope by understanding what people are doing in the real world or the offline activity. Apparently, as you will see, this is even much more exciting and interesting. And it is already well known that hyper-personalization is contributing almost to any parameter in marketing. So what we have done at Anagog is to develop a technology which we call JEDI that knows to sit at the background of every application and to allow it to access the sensors in order to build 24/7 activity and location of the user, to even build a very detailed profile of the user on the phone itself, all the way to allow the phone to even predict what the user is likely to do next. Now, the claim to fame of Anagog is that we can do all of that only on the phone. No need for any communication to the cloud, and still doing all of this machine learning with less than 1% of battery for a full day. This deep technology is backed by over 25 patents, and as you can see, market researchers are counting Anagog as one of the leaders in this branch of AI, which is called Edge AI. This is an example of what my phone was able to learn about me continuously at the background with no cloud support when I was traveling to meet with Walmart last year. So you can see that the phone understood that I'm on the airplane, later on texting to the terminal, then walking in the terminal, sitting at Starbucks, again in the airplane, then in the taxi, arriving to my hotel. This is a good example of what the phone can learn about me in just real time. And then the phone can actually understand my persona. Over time, it can understand hundreds of microsegments about myself, which is my persona. And on the other side, it can understand my context or my micro moments. I've just now started driving. I just now entered home. I just now stopped running. So understanding my persona and my context can allow my phone to bring relevant services to me. But even more interesting, the phone can figure out the best moment of engagement. If I'm now just leaving home, probably a very bad time to try to approach me, but 10 minutes later on the train, a perfect moment of engagement. Privacy is one of the key benefits. Let's start with the left side. This is what everybody are doing today in the market. In order to offer that person with personal and contextual offering, his profile must sit on the cloud. Otherwise, how can the cloud know what to push in his direction? In our case, we demonstrated that the profile sits on my phone. So my phone can approach the cloud, ask for the relevant services, but tell the cloud, I don't want to tell you who I am. So that's a totally major innovation in that respect. And finally, we came up with a solution that is solving the problem of traditional marketing automation by allowing to move the marketing automation rules to sit in each and every one of the phones, so that eventually the phone becomes the center of decision. So you are having much better privacy. You don't need to take my information outside of the phone. You reduce the cost drastically because you are eliminating the big machine in the backend. You distribute the computing power, and eventually you can understand my real-time context, which is the most valuable. So just to see how simple it is, you log into a web interface, which we call Gemma, and you want to offer sport apparel to sporty women that lives in Frankfurt, as example. So you say, I only want to approach those women that run at least twice a week. I only want to approach that woman when she goes back home after she was at work, and I only want to approach women that lives in Frankfurt. Now the phone is making all of these calculations, and only to that woman, only at that time, it will show a push notification that will make her engaged in a much better way. So the end game, she got better personalized solution, better contextualized, and she can keep her full anonymity. We give value with that to retailers in a variety of aspects, from hyper-personalization to share of wallet to churn prevention and better campaign management. And the last slide, in the coronavirus era, you need to understand the new normal of people, and you need to engage them accordingly. So that's pretty much in a nutshell.
Great, thank you, Ofer. Bringing the conversation to kind of the topic of the panel here, and just quickly, we also have Michael here with us. Maybe Michael, you could just say a quick hello, introduce yourself, and then I have two quick questions I want to get to.
Hi guys, Michael from Soup Farm.
Okay, great. Welcome. So great to have you. So first is just given what we just heard from Ofer, and we'll start with Ofer here. Hyper personalization is something we've talked about for a long time in the world of location-based marketing. It's in demand by agencies, brands, retailers, but it's always somewhat been limited by issues of privacy concerns. How are you seeing kind of the way you're going about it now, and the way that the markets are moving, especially in these times with COVID, that can be addressed in a different approach and make consumers and brands feel more comfortable?
I think that the main problem is how can you allow hyper-personalization to coexist with privacy? On the face of it, it's like a conflict. And we believe that the only way of really solving this conflict is by not taking the data out of your phone. Instead of trusting all kinds of solutions, give the user the option not to take the data out of the phone. Between all of us, vast of the majority of the users don't care, and they will give you the data if you just give them value, but offer them the option. So that's in a nutshell how we see it.
Okay, very good. And Michael, from your side as a retail operator, how are you seeing kind of the data collection aspect of things?
Definitely as a retailer, we try to keep the data on our premises. There is a big value of evident data. It's not something that we want to share, but I think the major point is to create the right content for customers and to approach the customers the right way at the right time. That's the real big value of data. So, referring to the Anagog approach, where as a retailer, I don't really get the data to analyze on my machines necessarily. I don't need to know specifically per customer everything about them. I do want to provide them with the best kind of promotions and offers and the best kind of content I can, even if I do it blindly. So, that approach where the data is kept locally on the machine, on the device of every customer, that I still can match them with the right content and kind of promotions that will generate eventually bigger sales for myself or bigger loyalty, that's a good approach. And I'm sure customers are more and more worried about privacy. Sometimes we are more aware of this concern than they are. And we try to keep it at bay in the sense of, not to ask them for too much information, not to scare them in asking them for too much information. Even the kind of type of access you ask them from, either you ask them for location or the microphone access or camera access. People are concerned about that stuff, not necessarily understanding how it generates value to them. They're more worried that it will be used for abuse. So any solution that avoids that is great.
Quick follow-up for you then. Do you see a way that, as consumers realize their data has value, that they can participate in the monetization of that data themselves? We're seeing some startups emerge, that allow consumers to get paid in a microtransaction every time their data gets used by a brand or advertiser or an agency, 5 cents, 10 cents, and so on. Do you think this is a model that can actually work and consumers can realize some value?
Well, in my point of view, there is already
Michael, before you answer, we're running out of time, so please just try to keep it short to a minute.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so I'll just say that I think they're already monetizing their data and location by receiving discounts that are relevant to them. So even if not they're opting into that kind of monetization, they indirectly receive it by sharing the data with us, either previous transactions or location or whatever type of data. We are able to provide them with better deals and better offers to save them money. So it's indirectly kind of monetization for them, I think.
Very good. Thank you. All right, we'll leave it at that. I think we're out of time.
Okay. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, Asif Khan, for moderating, and Alfred Zifferman and Michael Mitrani for joining us on the panel.